Hey movie buffs, I'm Jack Benner and welcome to my review of La La Land. La La Land is a 2016 musical written and directed by Damien Chazelle starring Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone. Set in modern-day Los Angeles, it follows a romance between Mia, played by Emma Stone, who's a struggling actress, and Sebastian, played by Ryan Gosling, a passionate jazz pianist, as it shows them living their lives trying to achieve their dreams and facing struggles along the way. Whiplash is my favorite film of 2014, as well as one of my top 10 favorite films of all time, as I found it to be an intense, riveting, engaging, and impactful masterpiece. And that movie put Damien Chazelle on the map as a talented filmmaker. I remember being very excited that his follow-up film was going to be a musical with Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, and this is both Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone's third collaboration together after Crazy Stupid Love and Gangster Squad. I remember getting more excited when this film premiered at film festivals, receiving rave reviews, and getting hyped up as a major Oscar contender. And I saw La La Land in theaters and I was highly enthusiastic to see it. Before 2017 started, my two local theaters that I often go to did not play La La Land yet. And I went out and saw it at the closest theater that was 30 minutes away from my house, and I thought, I must see this freaking movie. And still to this day, I am so happy that I saw this movie in theaters before 2017 began, and that unforgettable first viewing left me in awe and euphoria. And 6 years later, La La Land is still a magnificent masterpiece and one of the best musicals I've ever seen. Let's start with the pros. The very first thing to praise is Damien Chazelle's spectacular filmmaking, which I truly believe with this and Spielberg's West Side Story is some of the best filmmaking for a musical I have seen in a long time. Just from the amazing opening musical number with Another Day of Sun, I knew I was in for something special. You can tell watching this movie, Damien Chazelle is truly stepping up his game as a director after Whiplash. How he uses absorbing long takes, infusing energy and excitement into the musical numbers, and beautiful cinematography is all astounding filmmaking across the board. Watching this film, you can definitely tell how much the cast and crew poured their hearts and souls into making this film. This movie really did feel like an original, modern homage to old-timey musicals like Singing in the Rain. Just from that opening scene, I knew Damien Chazelle was winning the Oscar for Best Director, and he did. And he swept the Best Director categories that award season: Golden Globes, Critics' Choice, BAFTA, Directors Guild, and the Academy Award. And I was jumping with joy when he won the Oscar for Best Director, 100% well-deserved. In addition to being the youngest director to win the Oscar for Best Director, being 32 at the time of his victory, I find that not only monumental to his level of craft, but I find it to be inspiring for aspiring young filmmakers, making his first two films at a young age with Whiplash and La La Land that are not only incredible films but are still being reminisced to this day, and that right there is a great accomplishment. Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone are a fantastic duo with amazing chemistry. This was a great opportunity for both Gosling and Stone to unleash their musical chops with their singing and dancing, while also proving why they're both super talented actors. Ryan Gosling is excellent as Sebastian, a passionate jazz pianist who wants to start his jazz club, and Gosling achieves fantastic results with this role, not only being funny and charismatic. I've never seen Gosling sing prior to watching this movie, and he has a great singing voice. He really got shown in musical numbers with City of Stars and A Lovely Night, and his dancing and piano skills are also terrific. And I would say either this or an underrated Gosling performance in Place Beyond the Pines, this would probably be my favorite Gosling performance. And his great performance earned him his second Oscar nomination for Best Actor a decade after Half Nelson. And he also won the Golden Globe for Best Actor in a Comedy or Musical. Even though I didn't think he would win the Oscar for Best Actor due to the competition with Casey Affleck in Manchester by the Sea and Denzel Washington in Fences, who were both fantastic. But I'm glad him and Andrew Garfield for Hacksaw Ridge were both locks to get in for that Best Actor category that year. And this is still to date the best performance I have ever seen from Emma Stone. She is incredible in this movie. Stone absolutely brought her A game in this movie, playing Mia, an aspiring actress who has dreams to make it big. From her terrific acting, selling her emotions that make you sympathize with her character and what she's going through. And like Gosling, I've never heard her sing prior to watching this movie. And when I saw this movie, and in particular, the audition song, The Fools Who Dream, I was amazed. She has an amazing singing voice in this movie. And that scene alone, I felt like was the reason why she won the Oscar for Best Actress. And I was super happy she won the Oscar for Best Actress. She was definitely my pick out of nominees, as she was my favorite leading female performance of 2016. For the technical categories, the production design in this movie is absolutely fantastic. definitely does a great job contributing to the setting of the film in modern-day Los Angeles, as well as the breathtaking cinematography, some of the best cinematography I've ever seen in a musical, the great long takes contributing to them, the beautiful color palette, and unforgettable shots whenever I think about this movie, and both those wins in the technical categories were definitely deserving, and the costume design in this movie is top-notch. And I've already said it when praising Damien Chazelle's directing, and I'm going to continue to do so here. The musical numbers in this movie are absolutely incredible. Some of the best and most energetic musical numbers I have seen in a long time. From the awesome opening musical number of Another Day of Sun that made to look like it was done in one long continuous take. Someone in the Crowd and A Lovely Night would also be major highlights. All achieved with flying colors from the choreography, emotion, editing, coordination, admiration, and the execution is staggering. And another contributing factor to those musical numbers is the outstanding music in this movie. They're very catchy, memorable, and upbeat, and I listen to the music quite frequently. They perfectly balance the excitement and the emotions in the right places. And songs Another Day of Sun, Someone in the Crowd, A Lovely Night, City of Stars, which won the Oscar for Best Original Song, and the audition song, The Fools Who Dream, that was nominated for Best Original Song. The songs in this movie are just absolutely wonderful, as well as the musical score. Some of my favorites include Sebastian and Mia's theme, the epilogue, and when Sebastian and Mia go to the planetarium, and one part in that score where Mia is flying and they're in the air. Oh, that part, that gave me goosebumps, just chef's kiss. And it definitely deserved those Oscars in the music categories, Best Original Song I mentioned, and Best Original Score. If you seriously didn't think La La Land was going to win the music categories at the Oscars, I honestly don't know what to say to you. I really don't. And what I find particularly noteworthy about La La Land is that this film is a very passionate story about the dreamers, following two likable and sympathetic main characters doing everything they can to support each other with their aspirations despite the obstacles that they face. Watching their journey made me feel emotionally invested in them and felt like I could relate to either Sebastian or Mia when I'm having struggles in my life and wanting to achieve a particular goal, and just think about the conflicts that they go to and the struggles that they face. And I find that to be one of the most impactful aspects of this film to me. The passion within made this more than just a style over substance musical, and it doesn't forget to let the viewer be emotionally invested in the story and the characters while also showcasing accomplished filmmaking at the same time. Now, I recommend this movie to anyone who has a dream or a particular goal, and this movie will teach you to never give up no matter what. If you have the right amount of support, different people who love you, and that determination you have, this movie really inspires and motivates me that you can make your dreams come true. You got the motivation and you want to put the hard work into it. And I already mentioned the phenomenal opening in this movie. This has one of my favorite endings of all time. For starters, that was not how I expected the ending to go and didn't exactly play it safe. That epilogue and that dream sequence of how things could have been gone differently is both incredible to watch, but also heartbreaking at the same time. It's just watching that entire sequence, I just thought, man, what could have been. However, from my perspective, I actually view it as a happy and optimistic ending rather than a downer ending. The ending with Sebastian and Mia staring at each other and smiling at each other, I thought that was beautifully done, and you don't need a single word of dialogue. It's just those two facial expressions right there. What's the most important is not those two ending up together or not, but for what's most important is those two being happy for each other that they made their dreams come true. And for that, I can see why the film chose to end that way. Not only an exciting finale worth the price of admission, but for also what works within the story. As for any flaws I have with this movie, I don't have a single complaint with this movie. Not with the runtime. I don't find it too long or boring. I just can't really find anything bad to say about La La Land. In conclusion, La La Land, 6 years later, is still a magnificent musical masterpiece. That's one of the best musicals I've ever seen, if not the best. An emotional and awe-inspiring film that gives me euphoria every time I watch and think about it. From the spectacular filmmaking, fantastic performances from both Ryan Gosling and Emma Stone, gorgeous cinematography, exceptional musical numbers, memorable music, and impactful story about the dreamers. I do remember when I did my top 10 favorite movies of 2016, that was 2 years ago, and I had this as my second favorite film of 2016, but disregard that video. This is my favorite film of 2016, as well as one of my favorite films of the 2010s decade, and one of my favorite films of all time. Just an overall absolutely stunning cinematic achievement that I can't praise enough. And now to grade it, of course, I am going to give La La Land, but bam! 5 out of 5 stars and A+. And now I guess I should bring up what happened at the 2017 Oscars when it came to Best Picture, and I bet you know where I'm going with this. After I saw La La Land in theaters, I was confident that it had Best Picture in the bag. It swept the Best Picture categories that award season and won a record-breaking 7 Golden Globes. It tied with All About Eve and Titanic for the most Oscar nominations, and both of those movies won Best Picture. And ever since this film premiered at film festivals, it was hyped up as a major Oscar contender and was a force to be reckoned with. Then at 2017 Oscars, when it was first announced, it seemed like it won Best Picture. But there was a little mistake. They accidentally read the Best Actress envelope, which was Emma Stone for La La Land, and what won Best Picture?
No, there's a mistake. Moonlight, you guys won Best Picture.
Moonlight won. Come on, this is not a joke. This is not a joke. I'm afraid they read the wrong thing.
This is not a joke. Moonlight has won Best Picture. Moonlight, Best Picture.
Yep, it was all a mix-up. Moonlight was the actual Best Picture winner. Now, I love Moonlight. It's one of my favorite A24 films, and I feel kind of bad that I only had an honorable mention in my favorite films of 2016. If I were to redo that list, it would definitely have a spot in my top 5, as I find it to be a very well-directed, deeply moving, impactful, and hard-hitting drama. And not only do I love both La La Land and Moonlight, Hacksaw Ridge, Arrival, and Hell or High Water were some of my favorite films in that lineup, and Manchester by the Sea and Fences I also thought were very good movies. And years later, I'm still in shock and in disbelief that actually happened. As much as I do really wish La La Land was the actual Best Picture winner, I'm still okay with Moonlight winning. And on the bright side, La La Land did win the most awards that night with 6 Oscars. I still adore La La Land, and it's still a fantastic movie to this day. So I'd like to hear from you guys. What are your thoughts on La La Land if you've seen it? Do you agree, disagree with my review? Or if you've never seen La La Land, are you interested in checking the film out or not? Let me know below. Did you enjoy hearing my thoughts on this movie? If yes, please hit that like and subscribe button if you're new here. And don't forget that notification bell for my next upload in the future. It really means a lot. And until the next video, I'm Jack Benner, and look forward to another movie review.